They thought I was too old to hear their laughter, too weak to see the greed in their eyes. But I had one last lesson to teach them, and when the lawyer read my will, the whole town gasped. My name's Walter Henderson, I'm 72 years old, and I spent my whole life working in the steel plant here in Ohio, 44 years of my back breaking so my family never went hungry. Most mornings now, I sit on the porch with a chipped coffee mug in my hand, listening to the old country station on the radio. The walls of my house are covered in family photos, my late wife Martha smiling in her Sunday dress, and my children Brian and Lisa back when they were little and still thought I was their hero. Funny thing about age, you expect aches in the bones, but not the ache of loneliness. My neighbors wave kindly, but my own children, they barely stop by unless they need something. And lately, I've heard whispers I was never meant to hear, whispers that cut deeper than any factory accident ever did. Brian, my oldest, visits just enough to check what I still own. He smirks at my habits, saving screws in coffee cans, reusing old shirts for rags. Dad, you don't need this junk. When you're gone, I'll finally clean this place up. Lisa, my daughter, is sharper with her tongue. She laughs at my hearing aids, calls me stuck in the past, and sometimes talks about me like I'm already buried. One afternoon she joked, "Don't worry, Brian. Dad probably won't even remember what he promised us. He's old, let him drift." They didn't think I could hear, but I did, every word. And I thought of the sacrifices they forgot, selling my truck just to pay for Brian's tuition, working double shifts so Lisa could start her little boutique, missing birthdays, Christmas mornings, even my anniversary, just to keep a roof over their heads. Now, to them, I was nothing but a dying man sitting in a chair, waiting for the end. But as I sat there in silence, something inside me shifted. My hands trembled, but not from weakness, from resolve. I whispered to myself, I may be old, but I'm not blind, and I won't die mocked by the very people I bled for. The breaking point came one night when I couldn't sleep. I heard their voices downstairs. Brian and Lisa had let themselves in with the spare key. Lisa laughed. Honestly, he's half dead already. I give it 6 months. We should start calling agents about the house. Brian replied, yeah, and those tools in the shed? Worth a good bit. I'll unload them the second the old man croaks. My chest tightened, not from age but from heartbreak. I sat in the dark, tears rolling down my face, listening to my own children carve up my life like vultures. I didn't walk down and confront them. No, that's what they expected, a tired old man too weak to fight back. Instead, I made a choice that night. If they wanted my things so badly, they'd never touch them, not a dime, not a board of this house. The next week, I went to see my lawyer. I asked him to rewrite everything. The house, the savings, my pension, all of it, gone from Brian and Lisa's hands. Instead, I left the house and most of my money to Tom Jenkins, the young veteran who lived next door. Tom, who carried my groceries without asking, shoveled my driveway in the Ohio winters, and never once hinted at repayment. He treated me like a man, not a burden. I also set aside $100,000 to create the Martha Henderson Scholarship Fund, for local kids who worked hard but couldn't afford college. Martha always believed in lifting up those who tried, even when life knocked them down. Every signature on that paper felt like a nail in the coffin of their entitlement, and I didn't tell a soul. The weeks rolled by, and my children grew bolder. Brian started bragging to his coworkers about inheriting a house soon. Lisa showed her friends pictures of the living room, saying how she'd renovate the whole thing once it was finally hers. They didn't notice my silence, or maybe they thought my quiet meant surrender. But I sipped my coffee every morning, same as always, staring out at the cornfields. Inside I was calm, patient, waiting. The lawyer confirmed everything was filed, ironclad. Their greed had already blinded them. All I had to do was let time carry the truth to shore. The day of my funeral came sooner than I expected. The small-town church was packed. Old coworkers, neighbors, veterans from the Legion Hall, faces lined with respect and sorrow. Brian and Lisa sat in the front pew, dressed in black but wearing faint smirks. whispering about finally getting the keys. Then the lawyer stood, will in hand, his voice carried through the church like a bell. To the children of Walter Henderson, Brian and Lisa, I leave nothing. A gasp ran through the pews, murmurs rose, my children froze, their smiles vanishing. The house, the pension, and possessions shall go to Tom Jenkins, whose loyalty and kindness reflected true family. Furthermore, a scholarship fund in Martha Henderson's name shall be established, supporting local hard-working students for years to come. The room erupted, claps, nods, whispers of approval. Some neighbors glared at Brian and Lisa, their shame painted in red across their faces. Their arrogance crumbled, publicly, painfully, and I swear, if there is a heaven, Martha smiled that day. Word spread fast in town. Lisa's boutique lost customers. No one wanted to support someone who mocked her father's last days. Brian's coworkers teased him mercilessly. The proud children became the town's cautionary tale. Meanwhile, Tom moved into the house, treating it with care. He kept my porch chair just as it was, setting my old radio beside it. And the scholarship? First year, 3 kids got to college, kids who reminded me of myself, working class, hungry for a chance. In the quiet of eternity, I finally felt peace. All my life I gave, but giving to the ungrateful is like pouring water into a broken cup. Better to pour it into the soil, where something good can grow. My story isn't just about revenge, it's about dignity, about choosing where your sacrifices land. So if you're listening to this, and you've ever felt dismissed, mocked, or betrayed, remember this: your worth isn't decided by those who laugh at you, it's decided by the legacy you leave behind. Tell me in the comments, have you ever seen greed twist family apart, or maybe you found kindness in unexpected places? Because sometimes, strangers treat us better than blood, and sometimes, the last word belongs to us.